So you're going to start with your feet about hip width apart. You're going to make sure that they point straight ahead and that they're aligned with one another. And then you're going to relax all of your usual postures and your holding tensions, letting your knees bend, letting your low back go, the belly go, the hips go, and particularly letting your breath out, so your ribs and chest relax down with your out breath. That's going to relieve some holding in the middle back. It might also make you wobble, right? If you have things loose enough, when we let that holding go, the body kind of sways and wobbles. You're going to find your big toe knuckles next by a little bit leaning into them, letting the knees have a slight inward feeling. Once the big toe knuckle is very clear, you're going to be pulling back with your butt bones to find your inner heel. That aligns your hips more over your ankles. And you're going to widen your foot to try to hug the outer foot towards the ground. That's going to firm up all of the leg muscles all the way up to the hips. You're going to make sure that you let your chest down with your out breath. And you're going to try to breathe to the back and sides of your ribs. And then we hold that leg position while we do some arm challenges. So the arms, out breath, forward, upward, while we're trying to stay steady on our legs, and then in breath, coming down in front. Another thing you can do is inhale wide arms up and they cross at the top. And then out breath, they come down in front. All the while the arms are moving, you're keeping track of what you feel in your lower half, making adjustments if something gets too tight or you lose contact at a certain point. And then you can also inhale, lifting and widening the backs of the ribs and this rounded forward. And then lift and open the fronts of the ribs when you stretch back. So these are a few different arm movements you can do to just practice steadying the legs as opposed to just standing there and being still. And you can do those in between these roll downs, which I'll show you next. So we double check the feet, make sure we still have all of those points active. We're going to be restful again through the fronts of the ribs when we let our breath out, which also softens the backs of the ribs. And that softness makes room in the ribs to expand on your breath. And so when you breathe in, you should feel movement in the back of the ribs and sides of the ribs. You're going to feel your belly kick on. Those again might be little wobbles. As we'll just check all of those points. Once everything feels clear to you, we're going to be nodding the chin downward. And as soon as we do, we should feel the toes get heavier. The belly should come on. And once it does, we try that wide breath into our back and ribs to fold down with really heavy toes, holding the legs strong and keeping your hips right over your ankles. Finding your stretch, and while you're down here, you should be heavier on your big toe knuckles and your heels. Your heels will be a little light. And why this still stretches the calves is because as you push down on your big toe knuckles, it pulls up on your tailbone. And then with gravity or even just a little consciousness, your heels actually hang down. So you get the down end up. You're stretching in two directions instead of just one. So you'll still feel calf stretch and back of the knee stretch. If you can't feel your butt bones or tailbone, soften the knees a little so you can find how to feel that widening butt bones, so that when you bend your knees and you sit down, you're supported in your hips. The torso and chest rise with wide butt bones with firm feet, particularly at the big toe knuckle. You can do prayer hands in front of the body, and you can put a little bit of energy in the hands that flows up the arms into the shoulders. And make sure your back is not over tensing and that you can breathe wide into the ribs. So you feel calm in your upper body while your lower body really works hard. And try to lower down more if you like, and then work really hard to rise up, keeping the legs active and feet active. And once you get settled at the top and things have relaxed a little, you can rest your arms back at your sides. We'll repeat that presence again, checking big toe knuckles, pull back towards inner heels, outer foot, and nod the chin again. Feel the toes heavy. Keep the legs strong, reaching down into the feet. Breathe and open the backs of the ribs and use the belly as you roll down. Keeping the hips right over the ankles. You might be wobbly. And once we're down again, big toe knuckles are heavy. Butt bones are wide. We sit with wide butt bones. Lift the chest. Come into prayer hands. Breathe and feel and slowly push up. You can hold these any length of time that you like. I'm just going reasonably quickly just for the video. We'll try that again, nodding the chin, feel the toes get heavy, hang on strongly, bend the back, hold the hips steady, use the belly, roll down, feel the big toe knuckles heavy as the hips are above, wide butt bones as you bend your knees, feel the hips and bottom support you, lift the chest gently, make sure you don't overextend the backs of your ribs. Breathe, and we're going to try to challenge by lowering our bottom towards our heels, which lets our heels lift, and we really focus on big toe knuckle. And then we'll rise the bottom by pulling tailbone and butt bones up and out, which pulls the heel back towards the ground. So feel like you're pulling backwards as far as knee towards bottom, pull back to lift your tail and butt bones. Press down on the big toe knuckle and pull back towards the heel. Pull back and up on the tailbone and hips. It'll be very hard. And after a few of those, then you can rise again. Enjoy.